Oh, that was a good one.
No, it was. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. And this is This Week
in Gruden.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at NextLevelD1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express.
Yummy chicken friends. Delicious chicken friends.
Very, very good.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
I don't think there is. Powers and I have had long meetings about this, and I just don't think there's a better way to say it than they are good chicken friends.
I just always think about like what the menu items and which ones I like to get the most. And one of the more underrated ones to me are the cheese sticks. I really like it. They have great cheese sticks
I've
there.
never done it.
You've never had
They're
the
good.
cheese?
I've had their. My go-to is I get the 4-piece tender combo, and then I add fried pickles.
Okay.
And the fried pickles,
They're good.
they're
Corn
really good.
nuggets.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think
I
corn
did
nuggets
those.
are
I've done
the
those, and
underrated
they were really
one.
good as well.
But I love me some mozzarella sticks.
You just don't think mozzarella sticks when you think chicken
I
and
know.
rolls and gravy, but
They're really good.
delicious. They're
All right.
really good.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm doing today. It's Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. Talk all things recruiting across the state of Texas, and there is a lot to get to. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, going down to Austin to talk about Westlake 2022 offensive lineman Connor Robertson. Checking in at 6'4", 300 pounds. This is a guy who everybody, it's one of those things that it's gradual and then all at once for recruiting sometimes. It seems like for Connor Robertson, we're in the all at once category. He received offers this week alone from Nebraska, Minnesota, TCU, Wake Forest, Virginia, and USC. He already had offers from places like Texas, like Mississippi State, like Houston, like SMU, like Duke, Kansas State. Of course, he was a big part of the 6A Division I state champs there on the offensive line, and when you do that, that's going to get you noticed.
Well, everybody talked about the Westlake defense this year. I mean, they put up insane numbers. Cade Klubnik, great quarterback. Jaden Greathouse, one of the top underclassmen in the entire state. And sometimes what goes underlooked or most overlooked on a high school football team is the offensive front. And Connor Robertson was an anchor there, playing right tackle. He's a guy who is very strong at the point of attack. And here are the first 3 clips you'll watch on his highlight film. He's just kind of moving dudes around on the field. I love his pass set. I think it's on the 3rd clip of this highlight tape where he just bear swats a guy out of the way, and he just goes flying across the screen. This dude's super strong, has the frame that looks like he's going to probably move inside at the next level, but has some really good athleticism, is good at pass blocking and run blocking equally, and I think that's why you see so many different schools from so many different conferences, right? This guy's getting them from all over the country. It's not just like, well, the Big 12 is offering because he's runs or has really great feet. Well, he's powerful and he has great feet, so he's getting Big 10 and ACC and Big 12 and Pac-12 and SEC. Mm-hmm. I mean, his list is littered with great offers, but not mentioned here, and I kind of did that purposefully so I could say it. I saved it, put it in my back pocket. He has Ivy League offers too, so he's a great student. So congratulations, Connor, for not only being a great football player on the field, but his academics are squared away, and he could also play in the Ivy League if he wanted.
Most certainly. And when you've got that kind of combination, as far as being obviously a state champion, being a guy who can do everything you need to on the field, and then also taking a guy that for coaches, and I guess we just really can't stress this enough. For coaches who are able to just, like, if you've got a guy from an academic perspective that it's like, I don't have to think about you. Like, I don't have to worry about you going to class. I don't have to worry about you making grades. I don't have to worry about you testing well enough. Like, to have a guy who's kind of set it and forget it like that, that's a huge advantage and it's like, it's no wonder that when people find that out, then it's like, oh, okay, well, then I have no problem offering you, because that's one of those things that's such an advantage. Coaches have so much on their plate. If you can just remove that for one guy, especially on the offensive line, it's like, okay, well, that makes the decision even easier.
Yeah, no doubt. And bad news, people in 6A, Robertson and Klubnik and Greathouse, they'll all be back next year.
Yeah, so enjoy that. All right, let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week is Bridgeland 2022 quarterback Connor Weigman, and he commits to Texas A&M. And I do want to talk about Connor Weigman because he had offers from all over the place, including Auburn, Texas, TCU, Oklahoma, etc. All these different places.
Maximum Bears.
We've got him as a 4-star prospect in Dave Campbell's Texas Football at texasfootball.com/recruiting. Proven winner, all these things, right? He is a cog in what has been a really impressive wheel for the Aggies this week. We mentioned it on the Monday show, but the Aggies have been hotter than a firecracker on the recruiting front since signing day. Like, signing day was pretty good for them. They locked up a lot of their 2021 guys in the early signing period. They were able to get a couple more on signing day, but since then, they've gotten a number of outstanding playmakers, most notably in the 2022 class, in my opinion, is Connor Weigman.
It's almost like you're reading my notes on what my next article is going to be, because the next article queued up to be released at texasfootball.com/recruiting, Texas A&M off to a fire-hot in-state start in the class of 2022. Mm-hmm. And that's how I would describe it. You almost took the words basically right out of my mouth or right off of my notes page here.
Good, we can move on.
So we're dialed in. They've done a great job. Malik Silla, defensive end from Katy, he's going to be in that 5-star discussion. Connor is going to be in the discussion to be the number 2 quarterback in the state behind Quinn Ewers. Who is it going to be, Klubnik or Weigman? That's going to be a debate that we need to have, and I think that's going to continue throughout the year. As a matter of fact, I think those 2 quarterbacks probably put themselves in the discussion to be number 1. And the one thing that I love about Connor Weigman is his ability to extend plays and make things happen outside the pocket or when things break down. He's a tremendous athlete. He's a great baseball player, smart, cerebral, has a good arm, but he has those things that you look for when things aren't always going your way in the pocket. Mm-hmm. He can get outside the pocket, has great escapability, seems to have a second nature for feeling pressure, and that's something that cannot be coached. You can either feel the pressure and know what to do, or you can't, and he's one of those type of guys who just seems to step up and make plays, and I think his statistics would kind of back that up. He's one of these guys that, I think he threw for over 3,200 yards, rushed for around 600 yards, and scored upwards of 50 touchdowns this season. That's just off the top of my head those numbers could be different, but it's in that area.
Well, and needless to say, I'm a fan. I mean, there was a big reason why Bridgeland was my kind of off-the-board pick to win the 6A Division II state championship. Weigman is such a gamer there, and he is a big get for Jimbo Fisher and company under center there, and Connor Weigman is going to do big things as a senior, and I would imagine going to do big things heading to College Station.
4,300 yards and 51 total touchdowns.
Oh, okay. But other than that, he wasn't very good.
No, not super impressive.
Other than that, pretty boring. This week in recruiting with Greg Powers, the next level athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation. #TF Today. Let's get to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week. Let's go to 2023. 2023 wide receiver. Boo Bam. Talk about Boo Bam Turner, who picked up his first offer of this time from SMU. Not surprising for the Dallas product. This is a guy in
Duncanville.
At Duncanville, who is the next big thing there in South Dallas. It is no wonder, by the way, just knowing how SMU tends to roll, that they are going to be the first in the door for a lot of these guys in the DFW Metroplex. Boo Bam Turner, Lontrell Turner is his name. But you can call him Boo Bam, and he has picked up his first offer. This is a guy I know you're pretty high on.
Well, this is a kid that we've known about for a long time. He was like one of these guys that was on the youth scene, and when your nickname's Boo Bam, people remember who you are. But he was on the varsity team as a freshman at Duncanville before he had a knee injury that ended his year. And that statement in and of itself kind of signifies the type of upside that this prospect has, right? There's not too many, if any, really players who get a chance to play or have varsity reps as a freshman at Duncanville. This is a team that may be the most loaded with prospects in the state year after year right now. And he had that breakout year. He was in our DCTF Rising magazine. As I was wanting to pull it up and kind of look at it here to kind of go back through and see which prospects had gotten offers and which haven't. Back in 2019, December of 2019, he was a top 25 guy, and I think – I counted 21 of 25 of those players now have offers that Boo Bam picked up his first one from SMU. But I think that's just the tip of the iceberg for him. He's one of these guys who is very electric in the open field, makes tremendous plays with the football in his hand, and carries himself with a certain swagger that he knows he's going to be able to be making big plays. And that's something that really sticks out to me when you watch his sophomore tape. And to bounce back from that knee injury and also on a loaded team to be able to make an impact, that says something. So SMU's the first one, but it won't be the last.
No, most certainly. Although, look, SMU's made a lot of hay in the DFW Metroplex. SMU's made a lot of hay doing exactly this, which is getting in the door early and having the first word in the conversation. That's a big thing. I think back to, for example, one of the guys who ended up being one of their highest-rated prospects in the class of 2021, and Preston Stone. Yep. I know SMU was one of the very first to offer him. And if you talk with him, he'll tell you, he was like, yeah, you know what? Like, the fact that they were on me early helped. And that's, I think, what they're trying to do here with Boobam Turner.
Well, SMU picked up a commitment from Roderick Daniels from Duncanville, and I think this is the guy, like if you're just not even talking about recruiting, you're a Texas high school football fan, you love following these teams, this is the kid who steps in now for Roderick Daniels, who has done great things there at Duncanville the last 3 seasons. This is the guy that they now turn to fill that void, and I don't know that they're going to miss all that much. You lose Roderick Daniels, you're going to miss something, right? He's not only what I liked about Daniels' game is that he was well-rounded on the snaps where he wasn't getting the football. You'd like to see Boobam make that same development. But when you're talking about excitability or electricity, he has it, and he's going to be one of these guys that keeps you holding your breath when you watch Duncanville.
Let's round it all out. Go from South Dallas to north of Dallas to Denton Ryan and their 2022 defensive tackle. Is it Keithian? I've never said his actual first name.
I thought that when I typed it. I was like, I don't think I ever knew his real name.
We just call him Bear.
It's Bear. It's Bear Alexander. So thanks. Shout out to Bear.
He has his own logo. I feel like he knows it.
Shout out to Bear for giving us an easier out than his actual first name. But it's Bear Alexander, their big defensive tackle. He is pulled the trigger, and he is committed to Georgia. He had offers all over the place from Texas, from A&M, from Alabama, from LSU, Ohio State, all over the place. Now, he is a 2022 guy. He did commit on National Signing Day. That is so he didn't sign, to be clear. We're getting some things confused. National Signing Day was for 2021 kids. He is a 2022 kid. He cannot sign until the early signing period in December, but he's now committed to the University of Georgia, and Georgia is getting a big boy in the middle.
Well, we briefly touched upon him on our National Signing Day show, but I thought his commitment was big enough that we needed to make sure that we gave it some special mention, right? Because he has those offers that we look at and say, oh, wow, this guy's a national recruit. And he's also one of these guys at 6'3", 325 pounds that I think we all got a sampling of the athleticism that he brings to the table in the middle of the defense. There's not too many guys that have that size and move like him, chasing people down and throwing people around. And I think he gets a little bit lost in the ranking shuffle right now when you're talking about top prospects in the state. If he played his freshman season at Terrell, didn't play his sophomore season when he transferred to Dallas Skyline, and wasn't eligible at Denton Ryan until a certain portion of this season had passed. So there's just not a lot of tape and stuff to go on when you're looking at his ranking right now, but he's a rare find. We'll just say it like that. He's a rare find, has all the talent in the world, and could be in the mix he should be in the mix to be a top 5 player in the state, and I think he has the talent to see that through. It's just about staying in school and getting the reps to put it down on tape to where everybody can get on board with that.
Yeah, most certainly. He's a guy that's certainly to keep an eye on, and when you're that big and you move that well, you're going to get noticed, and he is heading to Athens to be a part of the Georgia Bulldogs. He's Greg Powers. He's our mountain. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at NextLevelD1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting, including your piece coming up here today about the Aggies' hot streak on the recruiting trail. So make sure you check that out at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. You can stick around and be part of our next
Let's do it.
All right.
That was a prime example of someone tuning in for the show for the first time and hearing our mountain and his good chicken friends.
No, trust me. It's very much like parachuting in and being like, what in the heck?
And if you're stuck on a mountain, there's nothing better to be stuck on a mountain with than Chicken Express.
Good
that-
chicken
Dude,
friends. That's a
dude,
selling
Dude,
point.
right there. Like, can we clip that and send that to Chicken Express?